Hello and welcome. This is To The Point English. My name's Ben, and today I'm going to give you all the information you need in order to prepare for and pass the writing paper in the B2 First Cambridge English exam, also known as the FCE. Okay, let's do this. Now, the first thing you need to know about the writing part of the FCE exam is that it consists of two parts and lasts 1 hour and 20 minutes. Now, the first part is an essay in which you have to write between 140 and 190 words. In part two, you will see a choice of 3 different writing compositions, and you need to choose one of those 3 and write another composition of 140 to 190 words. Now, those 3 options that you have will either be an article, an informal email or letter, a formal email or letter, a report, or a review. So if your time is limited, if you have really limited time to prepare for the exam, then if you prepare for 3 of those possible compositions, then you can be sure that in the exam at least one of them will be an option. But having said that, you really should have left yourself a lot more time to prepare. So you should prepare for all of these possible compositions, all the different styles, for 2 reasons. First of all, it's better to have more options in the exam, because you may see that when you sit down and see the options in front of you, you just don't like some, but if you have more options, you can choose the one that you like best on the day. And also remember, you're studying English here, not just to pass an exam, but to improve your English. So if you prepare for all of these different writing styles, it's better for you in the long run. It's you've developed this writing skills. Now, time management is very important in the writing part of the exam. Much like the reading and use of English, you need to think about how much time you're going to dedicate to each part and how you manage your time. With the listening and speaking, that's not a problem because you're not in control of the time. You have no influence over it. But particularly the writing, you need to decide what strategy you're going to use. Now, I simply recommend 50-50, dedicating the same amount of time for each part of the exam, because you should be equally prepared for both parts. The essay is compulsory, so you know you can prepare for that. But as I said, if you've left yourself enough time, you should have prepared the other parts equally. So 40 minutes for the essay and 40 minutes for part 2. Now, I always say that it's up to the individual, really. I'm a teacher and I give my advice based on my experience helping people over the last 15 years. But at the end of the day, it's you who has to take the exam. So during your preparation and practice, find the best time strategy for you. Now, of course, you also have to think about how you manage your time within each part of the exam, with each composition you're writing. And in this case, I recommend 15-25. Now, when I say 15-25, I'm referring to how you dedicate your time when you're writing the composition. So 15 minutes preparation or planning, 20 minutes writing itself, and 5 minutes at the end just to check for any mistakes or improvements you can make, or maybe you want to eliminate some part or add some part. Planning is very important. So 15 minutes, you may think it's a lot, but the more time you spend planning, the less time you really need to spend writing, because the structure is very important and you need to know before you start writing exactly what you're going to write about and how you're going to structure the composition. Now, I think it's very useful for you if we look a little bit at the marking criteria that the examiners use for the writing. First of all, the word length. This is what Cambridge Assessment English say about the word length. Guidelines on length are provided for each task. Responses which are too short may not have an adequate range of language and may not provide all the information that is required, while responses which are too long may contain irrelevant content and have a negative effect on the reader. These may affect candidates' marks on the relevant subscales. So the key word there is guidelines. These word lengths are guidelines. but they are guidelines for a reason. You don't need to obsess about keeping within these guidelines, these word lengths, but it's very difficult to include all the information in less than 140 words. And if you write more than 190 words, you're probably going to be including some irrelevant information. Having said that, if you write 195, 200 words, and your writing doesn't include any irrelevant information, that's fine. It won't be a big problem. And again, if you write less than 140 words, but you feel that there's nothing more you can add, you've included all the information you can, that should be fine too. So yeah, remember their guidelines, but for a reason. Now, the examiners basically follow 4 criteria when they're marking the writing paper. Content, communicative achievement, organization, and language. Now, content refers to whether your composition is relevant to the task and that the reader is fully informed. So basically it's asking if, have you answered the question that has been put to you? Have you done the task appropriately? Communicative achievement is referring to the style and register. So depending on the writing composition you're doing, you have to write it in a certain style and use the correct register. So that's referring to how formal or informal the writing style you're using is. So of course, if you're writing an informal letter or email, it must be more informal vocabulary and structure. If you're writing a formal letter or email or a report, it has to be much more formal. So that's an important thing to take into consideration during your preparation. The organization refers to how ordered and logical the composition is, so that the structure, that it has a flow, a good flow, depending on if it's formal or informal. And the language is referring to the grammar and vocabulary. So you need to use a wide range of vocabulary and appropriate vocabulary depending on the task. And also grammar. You need to demonstrate a wide range of grammar and accurate grammar for each task. And how to prepare for the writing paper of the Cambridge B2 first exam. Well, practice. You have to practice, practice, practice. Do as many practice tests as possible with all the different compositions, all the different styles. It's the only way, it's the best way to get better. And I'm going to make some more specific videos in the future on how to write an essay, how to write a report, an informal letter, etc. So make sure you're subscribed to my channel. If you can't wait until then why not check out other YouTubers? There are lots of good YouTubers out there who are helping people with the Cambridge exams. There's one guy called Cambridge Rory who's been doing these videos for I think 3 years now. So check out his channel. I'll put a link in my description. And also I'd recommend that you join my Telegram group, the To The Point English Telegram group. It's free, and there are, I think we've just passed the 100 member mark. We only started last month, and there are lots of very enthusiastic and motivated students there helping each other with the different parts of the exam and sharing experiences and resources. So I'll put a link to that in the description too. Send me a message and I'll put you in the appropriate groups. And one more resource that's very good, it's a website, it's an official Cambridge English website. It's called Write and Improve. So there you can send writing compositions and you get immediate feedback. Okay, I think that's everything, guys. Thank you for joining me again, and I hope to see you very soon in the next video. Take care. Bye.